Pregame.com.
Sunday, Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings finally have made a change. They're benching Donovan McNabb. They're going to start Christian Ponder. Stephen, barring an injury, have we seen the last of Donovan McNabb in the NFL?
Thank goodness, yes.
I mean, I've never seen, I know sometimes you see athletes at the end of their career and they hang on too long. But it's generally a slow deteriorating process. I've never seen, I'm like amazed at what I've seen in the last year and a half with Donovan McNabb. I mean, what, has he just given up, or is he just really lost all the skills?
I think both. He's old, fat, he's unmotivated.
Hey, now, watch now.
But you're having a better year than McNabb. You know, he's old, he's fat, he's unmotivated. He never was the most accurate quarterback. One of his positive attributes was his mobility. Well, he doesn't have that anymore. There's nothing left for him to hang his hat. The Vikings should have done this weeks ago. Probably Ponder isn't ready, but he better be ready now because they got the best team in the NFL they're going against.
The Vikings, do you think this is a move that, like you said, clearly Ponder's probably not ready to take the reins, but I think Minnesota as a team, Minnesota as a city, they're ready for something with stability. I mean, think about the last few years, what's gone on there. How many different quarterbacks have come in and out of the Minnesota Viking organization?
They kind of sold their souls to the devil 2 years ago when they did the Brett Favre. And they got to the championship game, and they probably should have won that game and gotten to the Super Bowl and everything. Who knows how history may have been changed. Didn't work out that way, and Favre's gone. It's been a disaster, for them since.
Well, I mean, really, if you even, clearly that's the defining moment when they went for Brett Favre, but think about before Brett Favre, too. I mean, they had some rotating quarterbacks in there with, Culpepper in there and, the different guys that, were there. They're just, this has been a team that has always had talent, and they always, we kept hearing they were one or two pieces away from putting the puzzle together. But apparently that puzzle's all scattered now.
Well, they're asking for it. You put together talent, but look how you did it. You had Randy Moss and these guys, and then he blew up the team when he left. I've never liked their coaching. I hated Brad Childress. And so you got to be careful with this talent. They had an unfortunate break with Dante Culpepper. He was very good for a number of years, and he blew out his knee, never was the same, and that kind of put them on the downward spiral as far as quarterbacks.
Minnesota, do they have any chance of stopping this Green Bay team?
Well, they're very vulnerable with their secondary. We're doing this midweek, so I'm not sure if Antonio Winfield, their best cornerback, if he's going to play. So they're very vulnerable to the Green Bay's explosive passing game. However, I see the Vikings having a great pass rush against the Packers. Packers traditionally have trouble there in Minnesota. And the Vikings pass rushers play even faster on carpet inside their loud, noisy dome. Jared Allen's having a great year. I'll say he's been the best, most effective pass rusher of any player in the NFL. He's going against Marshall Newhouse, who is replacing the injured Chad Clifton at left tackle for Green Bay. He's done very well so far, Newhouse, but this is his supreme challenge. He's never gone against a pass rusher the caliber of Allen. I see Minnesota playing very hard in this game. I see them trying to protect Ponder by running Adrian Peterson 35 times. I think Green Bay's run defense, statistically, it's way up there. I think it's a little overrated, though. And this is what they should have been doing every week, is running Adrian Peterson 35 times. It just seems they stopped doing that in the second half, and that's why they've blown a lot of second-half leads.
To jump in on the run defense for Green Bay, I think this is a scenario that it's a stat that gets camouflaged. If you look on paper, they put up the godly numbers, nobody's running against them. When you've got 14, 20-point leads on teams, how many teams are running the ball at all anyways? So, I mean, those are numbers that get clouded, but there is a difference of whenever you have a dual-threat offense and you're running the ball, you got to play straight defense. I could see Green Bay, coming up and putting 8 men in a box and saying, Ponder, beat us. We're not going to let Adrian Peterson beat us. You're going to have to beat us. So they're going to have to take some shots downfield. The one thing that concerns me a little bit about the Packers, I mean, clearly the team's undefeated. Clearly, if they come in here totally focused and come to play, Minnesota can't match up with them. I mean, for 4 quarters, Green Bay's the best team, and they can name the score. What did you see? And you got a win last week with it, but were you a little bit concerned the way Green Bay kind of shut it down in the second half last week?
I was. It was like, we've got this game won, and we've got to kind of work on some things, work on our ground game, which hasn't been that effective for Green Bay so far. And, it was like they were toying with the Rams last week. I'm 3-0 this year, Marco, on Green Bay side plays. And this one, I don't have an opinion to. I'm going to watch. I know you're looking for an opinion on this, so I'd have to say a slight lean to Green Bay. But I do think Minnesota comes with their A game, and I think Green Bay actually has a look ahead to next week. What is their look ahead? A bye. And sometimes when you have that bye, in the following week, you just kind of mail in the game before that if it's against an easy opponent. I realize this is a division opponent. It's a hated opponent. The Packers do not like the Vikings. Mm-hmm. They probably hate them more than the Lions and even the Bears, believe it or not. But I think Minnesota really gets up for this. It's kind of giving them a spark to get McNabb out of there, go with the new quarterback. Their pass rushers could create havoc for Green Bay's offensive line. That has me concerned. But having said that, if I have to do a pick on this, which apparently I do, my lean would be to Green Bay. They're just too explosive. They got to break out at some point against Minnesota. Minnesota can't keep them down the whole time. Ponder falls behind, always live for a pick 6, which is a killer. Green Bay's defense very opportunistic. Don Capers is going to show Ponder a lot of different looks that he's not going to be experienced with. So a lean towards Green Bay here.
Scheduling quirk, like you said, they've got the bye week next week. They come off the bye, go to San Diego, which obviously be a big game, and then they come right back and play Minnesota again. They played Minnesota twice in 3 games. Do you when you play somebody that close, do you think you take your foot off the gas knowing that you got to play them so quickly?
Well, they may be a little more vanilla than they would, maybe not show their whole playbook. But it's obviously going to be harder to beat Minnesota at Minnesota than it is going to be at Lambeau Field.
For sure. All right, slight lean to Green Bay. And you know what? Sometimes the best advice is not to play a game, because if you save a loser, you're actually gaining more than picking a winner.
That's a good point, Marco. I mean, we have buys this week, but normally when on a no bye week, there's 16 games. I have opinions on certain games, and why force an opinion when you have stronger opinion on other games? I mean, most people don't have that kind of bankroll. Where you can just,
but the key point is if you force a play and you lose it, you lose, 1.1 units, with the juice. If you don't play the game, it's better than saving a loser is better than a winner because you win 1 unit.
Right.
If you lose a play, you lose 1.1. So,
but
this is a situation in this game that Green Bay looks like the logical side, but be careful. This is going to be a very emotional game for Minnesota. The team is really going to rise to the occasion. This is almost what you would call, when I refer to it as the injured player theory, where you lose the star and the rest of the team plays at a different level. They didn't lose a star. They got rid of somebody that used to be a star and was holding the team down. I think the team's going to be psyched for having Ponder in there, and they're going to try to help him out. They can carry that emotion, but sometimes emotion's not enough to carry you all the way to the finish line. Like I said, they could hang around in this game for 2 or 3 quarters, and all it takes is one bad play for, like you said, a pick 6 to turn the game back around, and then, Green Bay finds a way, to cover, because Green Bay's not going to make a lot of mistakes. They're not a team that turns the ball over. They protect the ball very well. They only have 7 turnovers on the season. So, and this is a team that's got a high-octane offense, so you would expect, more turnovers. So be careful with this one. Slight lean to Green Bay or pass the game. I'm personally passing it. I think there's better plays on the board. Quick note for me on Sunday. last 2 weeks I haven't had to play in a Pittsburgh game. That changes this week. You know my record on games involving the Steelers. Check it out. I will have it on the on my homepage on Sunday. Got a big play involving the Pittsburgh-Arizona game. Check that out. I'm Marco D'Angelo for Steven Nover. We're going to be right back. One last video from us. It's our rant of the week. We're going to find out who we dub the a-holes of the week. Steven's got one. I got one. We'll be right back with it.